Go. Hello and welcome back to the preview show. It has been many a month, probably even over a year. I'm not even going to count, but new season, preview show's back up and running, and I am delighted to be joined by our old friend, Edward Theuns of Trek Seda Frego. Edward, how are we?
We are good.
Good. So we are changing the preview show. We're going to kick out the old stuff, in with the new stuff, and we are going to embrace some technology. So we're on the Zoom, and we are going to look at Velo Viewer, and we're going to talk through the crucial points of the route, and then we'll have a little chat about, team tactics, the secret things that you'll be able to tell us all, and then we can get going. Right.
You're the DS, so I will hear the tactics.
DS Cycling Mole is in the house. So, can you see the route, Mr.
Yep.
Edmonds? Okay, it's going to be a nice day. It's going to be not Flemish weather. It's the end of February. We're talking about sunshine, 11 degrees, no wind. So I think the race isn't going to split up early. I think we're just going to focus in on kind of the last kind of 50k. That sounds sensible to you?
Very sensible.
Okay, so do you recognize the picture that's there? Do you know where
the Wolvenberg? No,
it's the Wolvenberg. Okay, so we're going to start with the Wolvenberg, and what you'll be able to see here is the gradient, which is absolutely wonderful. The good people at Velo Viewer are a lifesaver. So Wolvenberg, we're talking about 500 meters at 8%. It's a nice road. What's the Wolvenberg like, Edward?
It's very short. The positioning is pretty important there because it's a narrow road, and it's not so. It's actually not a super hard climb. I don't think there's a lot of guys afraid of this climb, but it's an important climb to get in good position.
So we want good position because when we get to the top, now you were out doing recon today, and yep. This is a slight difference to the route compared to last year. So last year, the race went straight across onto these cobbles here, and this year we turn right, and we go down I'll let you pronounce it, Holloweg?
Holloweg.
Oh, there we go. Right, okay, so these cobbles to me, they look not too bad. What are they like?
Yeah, the first part's okay. The last 200 meters before the left corner, they were a bit worse. But then you turn left, and then here the first part is quite okay. But then you will see the gaps are getting a bit bigger between the stones.
Can you get up the side? Is that possible?
Yeah, a little bit, but I think it's quite dangerous for punctures. You see, normally here the stones are worse. You can see it left and right.
Yeah, so you want to be in the crown, yeah? But not everybody can be in the crown. So good positioning.
Actually, yeah, on the pictures there, they still look a little bit better than they are now. But then when you turn left, it's actually quite okay, and it goes slightly downhill. Today we also had a strong backwind there, so today it felt quite easy there. But yeah.
So this section looks quite good. You're kind of going through some streets, some nice houses.
Yeah.
Cobbles aren't really doing anything there, are they?
Yeah, and it's like I said, slightly downhill gives you a bit more speed, so you feel the cobbles a bit less.
On the day, if the weather forecast stays the same, it will be slight headwind, but very slight. We're talking 9 kilometers per hour wind. I mean, that's like nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So then the next key bit of action, I would imagine. Now, I say next key bit of action, but we all know the win and move in the Omloop doesn't have to go on the cobbles. It doesn't have to go on the climbs. It can go on the flat, which is what happened last year. So you have to be aware all the time. You guys, you got Jasper in the move last year on the flat. How attentive do you have to be in this kind of last 50k?
I think in the last, everybody knows the race is ridden in the last 50 to 80 kilometers. I mean, then the climbs are coming fast, and like you said, it doesn't have to happen on the climb; can also happen in between the climbs. So I think you have to be very attentive in the last 50K of this race.
So we're
For
coming
sure,
up.
because I think Molenbeek is less than 50K to go.
Yeah. So Molenberg is at kilometer 159, 160. So 40K to go from Molenberg. And I just love.
So actually, that's quite close. I mean, it's quite not super far to the finish from there.
I just love the entrance to the Molenberg. It looks like it's going to go up somebody's garden path.
Yeah.
I mean, you're coming from there, and you guys are going there.
Yeah, you lose a lot of speed, so that's why it's also not such a long climb, but because you lose the speed you have, it makes it, you have to pick up the speed again on the first part, and then it starts to ramp up in the right corner. So and the cobbles are also quite nasty, and from here on, from this corner.
So 9% there.
So yeah, the climb itself, I mean, it's hard, but it's not super long. But I think the biggest difference is made because when you come on top of the climb, you have narrow roads, open roads, and now maybe there's not going to be a lot of wind, but you see a lot of times that they are going some attack there, and then they can block the road a little bit. So it's the Molenberg is like the climb itself is it's a tricky climb, but also the whole part after it actually makes the Molenberg an important point in the race.
You're saying like the road is so narrow on the top. Okay, the wind isn't going to be blowing, but if you have a group of maybe 15 riders who have a gap, it could be game over.
Yeah, the thing is, if you get 3 guys next to each other on a road like this, then the rest cannot pass. So it's an easy road to when you come on top and you keep going a bit, you can go into a move, and then if some other guys they stop pedaling and they block everybody a bit, you can get a gap quickly, and if then you can find each other, it can be a good move. But normally it would be if the wind would be. If there would be a little bit of wind there, it would be more nice. But yeah,
wide open.
Yeah.
Okay, next kind of key point for me would be the hag hook, which you do 3 times.
Yep.
Fairly legendary kind of set of cobbles in that. It's in lots of races. They are quite hard. I mean, your professional opinion, are they hard? Are they okay?
Yeah, it's okay. The tricky thing also is the road to go to the Haaghoek is like slightly uphill. It's an annoying road to go towards the Haaghoek, and most of the time you see a big fight for positioning already before that road. And then when you start the cobbles, first part is downhill, so it stretches out and then it goes up a bit. And if they push through there and the peloton is stretched out, then it's not so nice to be in the second part of the bunch. But the cobbles they're not super bad. So when the wind, there's not so much wind, the sector is quite okay to do for sure if you're in the wheel. But yeah, of course, it's always makes your legs a bit tired.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen a win and move go. I think, if I remember correctly, the year Ian Stannard won, I think it was himself in Quickstep pushed on. I think there might have been a crash as well, which helped. But we don't often see the race win and move going on these cobbles anymore.
Yeah, the thing is on cobbles, I mean, those cobbles are more, it's a bit up and down, but it's more or less flat. So then if you get the wheel, it's hard to drop somebody from the wheel. and then you have the layback following really fast after that, and then a bit further the Berendries, which is quite a hard climb. So I think that makes everybody wait a bit on this part of the race.
So we've got the Leiberg. It's very steep, but very short. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, very. I mean, it's very steep, but for a really short part, I think it's only 50 meters that it's really steep. So if you get good speed, you can pull yourself over it.
yeah, we don't often see anything really happen. It's too
No.
short for you professional athletes to make
It's a good moment to slide away, you know, because it's also a narrow road and everybody looks a bit to each other, and then on the part after the steepest part, it goes into like this part where it goes slightly up, and it can be also again a moment where the bunch drops the speed and guys attack from second row and get a gap to anticipate towards the Berendries.
So the Berendries, for me, it's my favourite climb. I probably can't say that, the Moor is, but I really...
Did you ever do the climb?
No.
That's why it's your favorite.
So it's not your favourite climb?
Well, I like it, but it's a hard climb.
I mean,
for sure, in this part of the race, there's some action going there, and if you're already on the limit, then it's a hard climb.
So we're talking a kilometre at 7%. This is one that a lot of the climbs we've talked about already, they favour sprinters can cope fine. You know, that short, intense burst of power. But this favours the climbers and the puncheurs a lot more. Tej, he loves this one. He always seems to want to attack here. Wout van Aert has tried to attack here before as well. Greg van Avermaet, Tim Vellens. This is the one where the climbers can make the difference, yeah?
Yes, and also because the next climb follows really fast on this one. You only have one downhill road, and then you turn again left. So the follow-up there is, I mean, you get a super hard climb, and then you get very little time to recover from that, and then you get again a climb. So that's why I think the guys who are a bit more climber types, they can take advantage there.
Yeah, this is their chance. I mean, we're talking at 11.6% here of a gradient.
Yeah, this is the steepest part, and then it flattens a little bit, but it makes it hard because you have to pick up the speed there on the last part, and yeah, it hurts.
Yeah, and as you said, the next one, the Elverenberg.
Alverenberg.
Oh, there you go. I knew my pronunciation would get me in trouble tonight. For some reason, Street View doesn't let you go up it, so we just have to take a little look from here. It's not the hardest climb in the world, but I suppose coming the Berendries.
But it's in two parts, you know. First, you have the road you see, it goes up, then it goes down a bit, and then you have a left corner. I think Tish crashed there 3 years ago.
He wanted to go in for somebody's house. He wanted the toilet or something, so he just slid right in.
So after that corner, it goes still up for I think about 500-600 meters. So it's a climb in two parts.
That's the house he crashed at, actually.
Yeah, correct.
So, and then you're right, he crashed and it split the group that year, and the front group went on to win the race.
Yeah.
So nice and tough. Then we have a bit of calm, I suppose, because the next climb is the Muir. We've got 12 kilometers of a gap between these two climbs. This year, the wind is going to be, we've mentioned it's light, but it's kind of going to be a bit of a tailwind once we get onto this road, a tailwind all the way down towards the Muir, which I suppose is good news if there's a front group trying to stay away. Because it is so hard, do sometimes people just want to wait until the Muir before they make a big effort?
I think so. For sure, there's guys who want to try to wait and wait for the Muir and see what happens there. But I think then there's also guys who maybe think of getting a little bit of advantage before the muur starts, and I think these 12, you said 12 kilometer in between, so it's kind of a big part in between, and when it's tailwind, it's also not so bad for guys who want to try to get a bit of advantage.
So we've got the start of it here that leads up to where the finish line is in the Bink Bank Tour.
Yeah.
This bit always seems, I mean, it's quite steep, and it takes
it always looks easy, and I mean the bunch always rides almost like spread on the road, but if you look down, we always pushing 450 watts, so it's already, you know, your legs get slowly, they slowly die on the muur, and then the real muur still has to start, and it's quite, I think it's one of the longer efforts in the race.
Yeah, because from the bottom, before you go into the little town, you know, you're talking, what's that, maybe about 1.5, 2 kilometers in total?
It's around 3 minutes, I think, to go up, so it's quite a long effort.
And even before we turn, we're talking like 9.3% here. Some people will cheat and they'll go on the sidewalk. They're naughty, they should get disqualified. But it's not talk of that anymore. And
I don't think you really have a lot of advantage there.
And you can see the people jostling for position. If you're in the middle of the group, usually it's game over. You're not getting past everybody. You need good position for the right turn. And then,
but there, actually, I think the positions are made. The part you have the Westen, like the first part where the finish is, and then you turn right, and on that part, like the right corner and the next right corner, this one, I think there is a really, you can see guys moving backwards, and you see guys moving to the front, and it's actually already one long effort.
In here, we're talking 10% already. We can't get the street view up that bit, but we can just move on a tiny little bit normally. Then it starts to get super steep.
Yeah.
Look at that. That is a thing of beauty. So we're talking 11.6% here. This is up here. This is where it's at its steepest. I mean, just how hard is it? How hard is it to go with the fastest on this point?
I have no idea. I hope I'll see it on Saturday.
You'd like to try it?
Sorry?
You'd like to try?
Yeah, I like to try.
It's funny because I was going to mention, obviously this is the new route that was brought in maybe 3 years ago. The old route suited you better, yeah? With
yeah.
the
I like the old route more. It's also, for me, the Omloop was always Ghent, and I was born near Ghent and lived in Ghent, so it's also a bit of a feeling. But yeah, I think the Muur has always been a hard climb for me because it's one of the longer climbs in the classics, and I think a bit shorter climbs suit me better. But yeah, I had good days also on the Muur, so I hope on Saturday will be a good day.
And then we have the descent down to the Bosberg, which is about 5 kilometers from the Muur itself. The Bosberg, which on paper just doesn't really look anything. You know, it's 1K at 6%, but for sure it gets rid of the weakest riders. You don't often see gaps between the strongest riders, but this is where the weak riders who have maybe struggled up the Muur, they're on the limit. Once we hit the cobbles, their legs just seem to explode.
Already this first part, it's annoyingly going up, and a lot of times you have groups coming back after they got dropped in the Muur, and then they come back at the bottom of the cobbles, but then they have to drop immediately when the first guys again accelerate. But it's a nasty climb because you can see the top from the bottom of the cobbles actually, and it doesn't look that far, but it's for sure in this phase of the race, the legs hurt, and it's the last really hard effort to get up there, and it doesn't look far to the top, but then when you're halfway, you feel it's far.
And you're right, because when you watch it on TV, you quite often see the front group and the second group in the same picture, and you think it's close, but it's about 30, 35 seconds.
Yeah, most of the time. Also, the first guys, they often wait till the cobble starts to make their to make it in one, try to make it in one acceleration, and then often the second group already does an effort on the dragging up before the cobbles, and then you can have the impression that they're coming back, but then at the top again the gap is big.
And it's the best. The best is safe to last. 10.6% just before it goes back onto normal road for the crest. And from the crest, you're talking about 12 kilometers. The vast majority of that is downhill.
Yeah, slightly down. It's a really fast road there.
We're talking this bit will then become headwind, I think, on the day. But again, not particularly strong. I don't think that will have much of an impact on it. And then we get to the last couple of kilometers where we have a couple of turns before we get into the finish. Yeah. So, Edward, on Saturday, you're going for the win. Couple of corners to make sure you're well positioned, yeah?
Yeah, depends on how big the group is.
Nothing too technical, but I suppose the last corner is, I think it must only be 200 meters.
It's tricky, yeah. With the last corner, it's a bit tricky.
Yeah, and last year, Jasper was leading out. He decided to go to the front with Lampard on his wheel, and Lampard claimed to close the door on him.
Yeah, I don't think he would have. I think last year was. I mean, for sure they were both strong, but I think Jasper was definitely in the sprint he was stronger. So yeah.
Yeah, he's a better.
I also have to say this because he's sitting next to me. But
Did they close the door then? Maybe you can tell us. Right, so that's the route. What about team tactics?
Yeah, that's up to you. I thought I was gonna hear it from you.
What, DS Cycling Mo?
Yeah.
Okay.
What Milso has to do and Kirschi.
Kirschi, I'm glad you understand the code names. I thought long and hard about them.
We use Milso now.
So you have, let's put my DS hat on. So you've got yourself, you've got Jasper, there's Mads, there's Kirschi. Okay, those are your 4 strongest riders. You've got other guys who are obviously good at what they do, but you're the main threat. It's going to be a nice day. Nothing really is going to happen early on. It would probably be from the Molenberg, I would imagine. So you need to be on your toes, Edward. Everybody needs to be covering their moves. Take it in turns. You've obviously got good legs from Beseges. You were second in the Queen Stage. Jasper, I'm not so sure about because he's been at altitude. He's not getting any racing in his legs. So there's a bit of a question mark about him.
Yeah, but
we might have to save him for the sprint.
We will see how he goes in the race.
Now that's something a lot of people have been talking about. This year we have far more riders than normal because of the cancellation of races who are coming in, and this is the first race. Surely you guys who have some racing in the legs have a slight advantage.
Yeah, I think the biggest advantage is mentally. You can do good work on training, but still there's always that little bit of confirmation you need by racing other guys. I mean, for me personally. So yeah, it gives you a bit more yeah, maybe it doesn't give you an advantage, but it makes you a bit less stressed before the race and makes you, or yeah, less stressed if you had good legs. If you had bad legs, maybe a bit more stressed. But yeah, on the other hand, you see a lot of guys doing already a couple of years coming back from altitude straight into Nieuwsblad, like Tish, or I remember Matthews was doing it, and they were doing fine. So it's a bit, you have to know how your own body reacts on racing and on training. And some guys know they will be good from the first day, and other guys, they want to do some races to get, yeah, to get a bit the feeling and to know where you are compared to your competitors.
But Beseges was good, yeah? You took a lot of confidence from that?
Yeah, I was feeling really well, especially because the stage I was second was the hardest stage, and it was good for the confidence, and yeah, you take that with you in the next weeks, also on training. It makes you a bit more calm, and to know that you're on the right schedule towards the classics.
Now, I have something else that will build your confidence. Your super fan for the cycling game, Warren Phillips, has been
What did he do?
He has been in contact.
Yeah, what did he do? He had a surprise.
Let me see. I hope it's going to work. He has made a song.
No way.
He has. This is now going to be your theme song. It's catchy. It's catchy. This is number one. Back from the Caucasus to the roads of
Istanbul. Fuck, that's awesome. You have to send me the video. I want to listen to it again. So thank you, Warren.
I think you guys like to normally play some dance music on the team bus.
Yeah, we put some hard music on, but for sure I also can appreciate a nice song like this.
Now, as your DS, I want this music on the bus just before you leave.
Yeah, I'll put it in my headphones. I don't know if the teammates are gonna be okay with it on the speaker.
It's soon to be available on iTunes. I'm sure it's no doubt going to be a number one
big hit
in the world. And he apologized for being quite late, but he said he first of all had to learn how to play the guitar.
He did a great job. He had some quarantine time maybe to learn.
So, I mean, top bonus points there for Cycling Game 21. I think that's 2,000 points.
Yeah.
Right, back to the
already race. A bike length ahead.
Yeah, back to the race. In your expert opinion, what happens? How big is the front group going to be? Will we get a sprint?
I think it's possible with the weather conditions. It's going to be nice weather. So I think, when the weather is bad or you get some more wind, it's easier to make everybody suffer more. When the weather is a bit better, it's easier to sometimes sit on in a little group. So I think the chance is there that it can be a bigger group going to the finish. But yeah, in the end, the riders make the race. So I hope it's gonna be a smaller group, and I hope I'm gonna be in there, and I hope I'm not gonna be alone from the team. So
There's a lot of hoping in there.
yeah, but you can only hope for the best. No, but I think yeah, it's a race that can be won in different ways, and I think we've done our job this winter, so I think we can be quite confident going into the race, and we will see what happens.
Okay, well,
And we take the good advice from the cycling mall with us, so actually the chance that we win is bigger than the chance that we lose.
well, there were in my written preview, I might just fly back specially from UAE tour just to be next Segafredo's.
Yeah, but then you have to take 10 days quarantine.
That's okay. That's okay. I have special permission from the king to be allowed to do that.
Perfect.
So I'll be there. I'll in spirit, in the written form. I will be there. I'm hoping for a big race from Fast Eddie, from Yappy, Madzo, and Kershay. I have to say
Yeah.
he has the worst nickname, but I'm hoping for a good one. Edward, thank you very much for your time. Hopefully it goes well for you on Saturday. And when you or one of the boys in the team win, I'll be looking for a special mention in the post-race interview.
Okay, will do.
Edward, thank you very much.
If I win, I will ask you guitar and sing a song back for Warren.
Bro, and on that,
but I still need some time to learn.
Right, people, we'll see you next time. Ciao.
Good, thank you.